It's 4:31, Madam Chair.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
here we go. We're calling together the meeting of January, whatever it is,
Say it's 8.
8.
Okay.
At 4:30. People here are Johnny McLaughlin, Steve Welch, me, Val Oliver, and Abby.
Camp.
Oh, I'm sorry, Abby Camp. And this meeting is and here comes Lucy Foster. This meeting is being recorded, so if anybody wants to record it or sitting in the audience, please let us know. Also, if you have any public comment, well, first of all, we should get the agenda approved. So, has everybody reviewed it and make a motion to approve?
Madam Chair, number 6 is gonna come off.
Joe Mata,
No, Clavin. I'm not sure. Clavin.
18 orange,
Yep, that's
okay.
coming off the agenda.
And what about 16? Because I'm not representing it.
Haven't heard anything about that.
Hey, TJ. How are you?
alright, so we're removing,
How are you? Hey, TJ.
As far as the application.
that's it, that's the only one?
Yes.
Okay. So, if I could have a motion to approve the agenda. TJ Washington is here.
Motion to approve the agenda.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Aye, and we are removing number 6, 18 Orange Street for representation, or,
It can just come off, yeah.
okay. Now, public comment is if you have something to say that is not on the agenda as a public comment, this is the time to do it.
Well, I was suggested that I come to public comment because I'll be at a SHAB meeting when you're discussing the cobblestones. May I read my letter?
Yes, please do.
Is that on our agenda tonight, Jen?
Under other business,
Oh,
at the
yeah.
very end,
Gotcha.
so. I think there's 2 there.
Okay, thank you.
I can't get them apart.
And we're gonna talk about it at 6 o'clock on Thursday, is that what you said? Did you say
Yes,
that?
we are going to discuss this
She's just
also.
making
Did,
up
oh,
the
you
time.
not,
I'm passing out
are you gonna be able to be at the meeting?
I can be at the meeting on Thursday, yes. But
Okay.
I wanted to read you my letter today if you were going to discuss it. So, to the HDC, I am concerned that recent plans for Main Street will destroy an important part of the fabric of our historic district. Main Street is the backbone of our town, historically, commercially, and residentially. It is the major element in the streetscape that makes us, to many, the most beautiful town in North America and a National Historic Landmark. Is it possible that federal permission might be required before these changes can be made? There is no question that it is currently in need of no small amount of repair. Over the years since the last major sewer overhaul, parts of the street have been taken up and put down many times, all for various good reasons. But all those ups and downs have changed the orientation of the cobbles as well as the subsurface grading. A cobblestone street is a stone arch. It needs to be graded on an even curve, crown in the center, edges held in place by the curbs with the stones individually laid keystone fashion. This means that the work must be done by hand, by skilled labor, masters of the art of feeling the stone and laying it big end up, interlocking with its fellows. Just plunking the stones down, regardless of their shape and orientation, does not preserve them as a street surface, and perhaps introducing a weight limit would help maintain them in the face of future demands. Our cobblestones derive their aesthetic appeal from their varied shapes and colors. The tops, where they have remained untouched, have been polished by the feet, the hooves, the wheels of centuries. This makes them particularly lovely and most worthy of preservation. Their beauty is part of what makes Main Street real estate valuable. Over the centuries, a lot of effort and a lot of money has already been put into preserving Main Street the right way. To discard it now would be a tragic waste. I plead, I implore, I beg for a proper, sensitive, historic restoration of Main Street cobbles by expert stoneworkers who know how to do it. It will be repaid in beauty, in property values. It will be worth it in the long run. Sincerely, Virginia F. Andrews. That's me.
Nice.
Thank you.
Bravo.
That was great.
Thank you.
You should put it in the paper.
Yeah, you
I
should.
actually wrote a letter to the editor back in December,
Yeah.
which is substantially what I said, only I was a little more chatty. I thought I'd be a little more succinct.
You
for
should,
folks.
this should definitely go in the paper.
Well, I don't know if Marianne will print a reprint, but,
Or give
Well,
it a
it's
try,
just,
because also
yeah, because it's coming up again.
the watering of the elm trees, if they should pave underneath where they're going to put the cobbles, will stop the trees from getting the amount of water they need. As with cobblestones, the road is pervious and it goes down. So you could bring that up. I'm going to bring it up as one of the
well, I
things.
didn't wanna get too technical because, you know, I don't know exactly, I'll be at the meeting on Thursday.
Do you remember the Portuguese guys who did the
I do.
Main Street crossing?
I do. I will be at the meeting on Thursday,
Good.
but I was kind of afraid that it might turn out to be another one of those, well, this is what we have to do because we can't do anything else and we're doing it anyway, but you can yap if you want to and then we'll go do ahead what we planned. So,
Right.
No. We'll order something else.
but anyway,
Well, so you're thinking that our comments are gonna count, but I'm not so sure.
And
Try.
when we change from a town meeting to a town representation, then they can do whatever they want without batting an eye. So
well,
this,
we are in the National Register of Historic Places and this, to destroy the beauty of the cobblestone street would be to flush away our identity as an island.
right, and when you ask somebody about Nantucket, that's the first thing you hear. It isn't that it's got mansions or whatever, it's
Kevin Spacey.
the cobblestone streets.
Oh, lucky us.
Recently.
So we'll be there too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ginge.
Thank you, Virginia.
We approved the consent.
Okay, that's our public comment. It's really part of other business. So if there's no other public comment, we will continue with the consent. And I need a motion to approve the consent 1, 2, and 3.
So
Motion.
moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And 1,
Madam Chair, you'll have to announce one of the associate members to sit on that vote, those applications, since you're down up.
oh, which, on those? You
Yes.
got Paul Bullock and Brooke Berrigan?
Yes, but either Jesse, TJ, or Stephen will need to sit and vote on that.
Why, I got 5.
No, we
You only
don't.
have 4.
Oh,
You need a 5th.
then 1, 2, 3, oh, right. Stephen, do you
Yeah.
want to do it?
Sure.
As long as you're in the line?
Yep.
No?
Nope.
All right.
No, I said yes.
Oh, I thought you said
And then I
no.
said no when you said you know.
Thank you. Okay, so that is the consent. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Donnie, what are you going to do?
I'm going.
Okay. So we will start right away with old business, which is 13 Union.
Thank you.
This is McLaughlin, Camp, Oliver,
Welcome
and
to
Dutra.
All right. What new thing do you have us to look at?
Okay, so last time we spoke, it seemed like we were pretty good on the building, and the last sort of obstacle was the retaining walls.
Right,
So we went ahead and stepped them so that there's two 30-inch walls instead of one big wall, and we slid the steps back a little bit. I think it ended up being 2 feet. To set it back a little bit.
so it's gonna be the first wall, then it's set back
It steps back 5 feet,
5 feet,
Yep.
and then we're
And then-
having another wall,
correct.
and then setting that back until it reaches that land.
Right.
Does everybody see that?
Looks nice.
Can you push it back any farther, Doug?
Well, I could push the retaining wall back, but the stairs, if you look at the
No, I
site.
meant the whole building.
Oh,
Is back, you know, as far as where that stoop is and maybe come off the side. I think it would help hugely with the,
well, if you look at the site plan, what I was trying to do is line up the front of the studio with the front of that little, wing off the house. And then the back of the studio lines up with the rear rail of the house. So I was trying to have some things line up so that they relate a little more. I mean, I certainly could, but I just felt like that relationship was,
I don't know, it's
Favorable.
just still such an anomaly on that street. That the farther back it goes, the less presence it has. That's just my comment. I like the building itself, but it's just
Yeah, I
where it
think
is going.
Right. Abby?
I think I'm okay with it. I understand what Val's saying, although it's not a deal breaker for me. I'm okay with this.
Okay, and Johnny?
Yes, I only have one comment, it's where you're on that. Looking at the east elevation as well as the north, there's 10 steps coming down, and there are no railings for elderly or anything on there. There's nothing drawn in. If you look at the north elevation, you have a little piece of fence there, but there's no, that's on the far side of it.
right, well,
That's between the
the,
buildings,
the steps, yeah, so the house is here,
right?
so we can have a handrail on the house.
No, I'm just saying there's no design for it.
Well, it'll just be a dollar, inch and a half.
I understand, well, when you have,
Yeah.
you're gonna have something. Okay, should add something in the
Yeah,
drawing, you know?
we'll have to have it.
Okay.
Jesse?
I'm okay with it.
Doug, don't know whether it can, you wouldn't have to put it back, but any footage I think that you could give us to move it back slightly, it would be good. It's still quite a piece of the streetscape, and it is a lot more noticeable with that stone wall. So if you could get it back at all, I don't know how much you could do it without ruining the what you have in mind, but you've got some space. This, I don't know whether maybe you could start it where those stairs go. Anyway, just take a look at it.
I mean, I could potentially move it 3 feet or so, but again, trying to have it relate to the house somehow was what we had in mind. So I just feel like even if I move it a foot, all of a
I
sudden
got
it's
an
gonna look
idea.
like an accident.
How about the pent roof that's over the garage? What if you move that back to your first, that pent roof moves back? That is, it's about a
Yeah, it's
foot and a half,
3 feet.
18 inches, a foot and a half.
Well, it's 3 feet.
Oh, that is,
Yeah,
oh,
that was
oh,
3 feet.
sorry. Okay, so yeah, so, yeah, 3 feet. Could you do that? Because then something would line up for you.
It's not ideal. I could. I mean, if everyone feels strongly about it, I could certainly do it. But our preference would certainly be to keep the house and the main walls of the studio lined up. But I will bow to your wishes.
So you got,
The other thing, when we push it back, those terraced garden beds end up in the patio area. Or you have to shorten a garden
I'm
bed.
talking about the building, not the guard. They can leave the walls.
Well, the walls
Well, but the walls would go with it,
would go with it.
and the stairs
And
would
the
go
steps
with it.
would
So
go.
it's now you're also decreasing the patio area, which was a big driver of what we're trying to do with the site overall, was to have a little patio area in the back of the house.
I see the big patio, why would the garage impinge on that?
Well, because the stairs would go with the garage.
I see.
So you're
Okay,
taking
I
3
see
feet
what you're
out of
talking about. Yeah.
out of the backyard.
So you're saying that where the retaining is and those stairs are can't remain where they are and the building simply shift back? They have to tie
Well-
into that building exactly where they are?
No, I thought the point you were making was that you wanted the whole thing to move back, so I was just taking it the whole way. But, I mean, we
And-
could,
and
we
with
could,
this
we could move the building
eyebrow-
and leave the stairs, if that's.
I mean, the pent roof, it's actually forward of this piece,
Yeah.
so. You know what? Maybe it's not an issue for anybody else.
I'm okay with it.
So, my other suggestion is if we move the studio itself, not the stairs, back to where the stairs begin now, leaving them in place.
So it's 2 feet.
But it drops the little pent roof back 2 feet too, right?
Right.
So it gives you a little space between Union Street and the garage opening. So it doesn't look as if it's sort of just crammed in there. I don't know what anybody thinks
2
of
feet,
that.
2 feet is, I'm great with 2 feet.
Okay, maybe you could, through staff,
That's fine.
if we could have somebody have a motion.
Motion to approve moving the whole structure back 2 feet, into the lot.
Okay, all those in favor of that one?
Aye.
Aye. That's some,
I'm voting no.
okay. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 for it and 1 against.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Looks nice.
It does look nice, it's just a very unusual building for that
2
street.
feet will help it.
Yeah, because we're going to have another one in question. The next one is 27 West Sankaty. Is Marcia here?
She is.
She is.
Oh, good.
Aye.
I got 3 here.
Oh, perfect. Toss one that way.
Okay, let me read this, and then you say what I got. LLC, 27 West Sankaty. There's no concern, it's fabulous.
Oh,
They say so.
I assume it comes into the main house.
So, tell us what you're doing.
This application is for a small studio in the back of a lot on West Sankaty.
You wanna take this one? Sure.
And it probably has maybe 2 elevations, I think like the south, east elevations that are visible from the street. A lot of the details are matching details of the existing house.
Do we have a picture of the existing?
I'm trying to get one online.
Okay,
Yeah, there were photos that I
Someone coming around now.
did send.
Yeah.
No, the photographs that I attached are primarily showing the lot and the existing structure.
TJ, are you going to take this?
Yeah, I'm on this one.
Okay. That's done. All right, so,
I've got no problem with the architecture, I think it's appropriate, it's very cute. And I don't even think a lot of people are gonna see this because it's back from the road, so I don't think it's very visible anyway.
It looks like it's right on the road.
Well, the
Well-
road curves around if you look at that site plan.
Is that way, not a lot of people don't
Yes, don't
use
know.
that.
It's
We don't have a
dirt.
locus map. Can I see
Yeah,
yours?
definitely.
Can I see yours?
that makes it easier.
Oh, it's right here.
So it's a curved dirt road off of West Sankaty.
So it's on that little road?
It's actually the back of the property where the main house is located.
Which way does the main house face?
It faces east,
East, okay.
and it's at a much lower elevation.
All right. TJ.
I have no concerns. I love it. Looks good.
All righty. Johnny?
I question whether that porthole is visible or not on the location of the lot.
Right, the north elevation is not visible, and the
On the
portholes
north elevation?
exist is a detail taken from the main house and other.
Do you want to speak up just a little bit, first, so that
Sure. That elevation where the porthole,
right?
first of all, the porthole is a detail that's taken from,
My question is the stuff right here, right?
that's correct.
Okay.
So it faces north,
Why is it not visible from the road coming around here?
because you're down about 10 feet the elevation. If you look at that photograph coming
That's all right.
around,
I'm just curious.
you can't see that corner from the front of the house,
Yeah, well,
because you're on much lower elevation.
It's in the photo?
I can show you. And the other point about the porthole is that it is a detail that occurs in many places in Sconset. So I did bring extra photographs.
Can I have the photos, please?
Thanks.
Very athletic.
That's another Sunday.
All right, it's gonna be up
So,
in this corner here.
no.
Where's this road coming along
See,
here? It's up the hill.
this is the road where you're down, it's up a little in the back. And then you're talking about-
Here, can you show John where it is? I put a little
So,
square.
taking it from here,
See the
this one,
thing
this
on
is
the
a
bottom?
photograph from here.
Okay. It's going up in that corner. Why wouldn't it be seen down here?
Because you're about 10 feet
Well,
lower.
the photo's taken from your advantage.
Well, it's only
If you
taken
go
from the
another
place
20
where
feet.
I'm.
She seems like a nasty
rivet
type.
edge.
Anyway,
All right, so,
I don't think anybody uses it, John. I don't think anybody goes back there except for the people that,
Well, it is,
Doesn't
it
matter.
it may be public, but it's,
does have extremely limited visibility for that whole elevation because of the change in the ground level, John,
This is the change in grade level that's just
the grade.
you can see it from here.
right. Well, if you can see the road down here, you can see that window. Man, I don't know, it's
You-
the idea of it, you know? Yeah.
Well, the idea of it exists in Sconset, so again, for those two reasons, it was felt to be appropriate historically. So I have other photographs of other portholes that exist in Sconset.
That was before the HDC, so we have no control on it. It's been there since 1700.
I know, we tend to, those things we don't have control of historically, we tend to honor them.
Oh, no, you put round.
can we get a motion?
yeah, motion to approve as submitted.
All those in favor of the motion to approve as submitted?
Aye.
And
Hey, we're losing everything.
anybody
Oh,
opposed?
that really that really settled it, that.
You're not voting on it.
Johnny,
Yes,
how are you voting?
yes,
Okay. Now, the next one is, thank you, Martha.
thank you.
The next one is Kent Murphy.
Oh, another
How many are there, Val? Just one?
two.
Two.
Hi.
Maybe we'll just have an extra.
This is Coombs, McLaughlin, Watterson, and Dutra.
All right. Kent,
Did you guys go look at it? You're gonna go look at it,
Yeah.
see if that half round is visible from the road. I looked at it and I don't believe it will be.
I'm not so sure that it's easily to Kent it. It's just a it's, so what are you proposing? Start with that.
On the front page.
I don't have a front page.
Well, I presented
Yes, sir.
this on new business. There's a porch, a pergola, and an overhang. And last Thursday, you guys said that the only thing you had a problem with was the half-round window, and there was much discussion over it. Most of the board members that sat said they didn't think it was visible from the road. You said, the chair said, well, let's take a look at it and take it up on Tuesday. So
Okay,
I think that's the only question was the half-round window.
right. So,
So did anybody look?
I did. I went by this weekend. I think it's gonna be visible. I'd rather see it without the, half-round window.
okay, which elevation is that?
The, south elevation porch pediment.
Where do you
Yeah.
think you're gonna see it from?
At a catty corner angle, I was driving down Sankaty from the, Opus side. It looks like you're gonna see it a little bit.
If you look at that locust map,
I've been out, full view, second floor.
yeah, but the elevation,
Put a little square one in
the
there.
elevation, John, is
Like a 6
the face, the facade is right here.
Right.
So I really don't know how you're gonna,
Would you mind switching it to like a 6-light window, like a?
I do a 4-light window, an 8/10. I mean, a 8x10 light, 4-light window.
Oh yeah, that'd be fine with me.
Okay,
Thank you.
I tried.
Well,
Jesse
Sounds good to me.
and Johnny, you're all right with that switch? They'll have a
I'm
motion?
going to change it.
But the only thing, may I approach?
Oh, yeah.
Where,
The only thing I was saying, I think that's the hell of a pen here. If you're coming, the building is in this direction, so that the half-round window is facing that way.
It's probably because
So
I was looking.
I really don't see, you know, you're looking down the driveway, this house is all here, and there's trees here, so I really don't see it. You know, even if you're looking from here, you're not
Yeah.
gonna see it. If you're looking from here, the house blocks it. If you're looking from here, this house blocks
I
it.
think it's because from that angle, that's an empty lot, and it looked like you were gonna be able to see it.
Yeah, there's a,
But it might be because I was rubbernecking and
Something like a
trying to
motion.
look for it.
Trying to
so.
get-
anybody else look, have an opinion?
I wasn't on it, I didn't go.
I'm not on it either, sorry.
Not on it.
Diane?
Unfortunately, I didn't get to see it.
I'll bring up one more chance, Madam Chairperson. If you stand on, right there, okay, right where that window would be,
Yeah.
all right. This is a public travel way for all these people, for others here. This is a travel way. You can look from here, I walk up here. You can look from here, and you can look from
That's
here.
a 1.5-story addition, that an L coming out. on it.
What'd you say, John? I didn't hear your answer to
It
that.
is right here.
Perhaps you could start the,
Okay,
This L is gonna be right in the way. This L right here. See this L? That comes out, that's 1.5 story, that's it's the same, it's, the peak of this L is gonna block the height of the window.
Perhaps the answer might
I'm
be,
talking about both ways. This way you're gonna see it anyway.
Kent, is to
Okay.
proceed with the building, and when you get the framing, the opening for the half round, to just come back and we'll check it, see if it's visible. If it isn't visible, then the half round can go in. If it is visible, then you put the 4 square.
Okay, but we'll prove it with the 4
And then put it up and we'll go look again, okay? Does that
Sure.
sound?
Okay,
Could I
so
have-
motion to approve through staff with a 4-light window in the south elevation porch gable.
Okay,
There's 8 by 10 lights in the front of the house, so
Yeah,
We just-
8 by 10 glass.
6 over 6, yeah.
Yeah.
8 by 10 glass,
4 lights.
4 light, all right. But don't we want to put in that he would come back?
Well, he can always,
He
it's
will
on
do
him.
that, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor of that motion? Aye,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, the next one is Canterbury Lane Partners, 2 Westerwick Drive.
You missed it already, right?
Right up.
Thank you.
This has a thing from the Wisconsin Advisory Board, and it has, are you listening, Donnie? It says pitch of lower sections roof too flat. It's a 5 over 12. The west elevation chimney too large, sticks out very visibly from road. Very visible from road. South elevation, the roof line with dormer sides is too large and inappropriate to sconce it. The door should have a light, no side lights, wrong element for this style. Porch supports, too western in field, should be appropriate to a sconset porch. That was everybody, with the exception of Alex St. Clair was there. So that is what Shab has to say. John, who's on this?
It was held for representation, so
Okay.
it's open.
So it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, and it is Steve.
Do you have your name for the record, please?
Sure, Michael Weisberg.
Sorry.
I'll come over and spell it for you later. Shall I start?
Yes, please start.
Okay, so this is the 3rd new structure that we're proposing in this subdivision. The first 2 were a home 2 lots over, and in the amenity building, a low slung kind of library structure that you guys approved, I believe, on the first night, right next door to this. Our intention here is to create a neighborhood that feels a little bit more like an authentic Sconset, where everything's a little bit different, but uses the same kit of parts. These low slung roofs, kind of interesting dormers, inset dormers, sort of elements that we're pulling from what we've seen in the area. Other homes in this subdivision on Canterbury Lane are quite large. Ours are a little bit smaller generally than what's out there. But they have a mix of regular and geometric facades, like many of them don't pull from the super eclectic Sconset. They're a little bit more regular, so ours is a kind of a mix of that. This asymmetrical dormer condition that we're proposing, where there's a dormer sitting on top of a broken back roof, is something we've seen in Sconset. There's a photo of it in the supplement that I brought. And other than that, we think it's an interesting house. Some of the comments from the Sconset Advisory Board are noted. We could definitely sort of change some of the porch roof supports and reduce the chimney a little bit and make it a little bit more appropriate, but we're curious to hear what you think.
Can you see the sconset?
Oh, I just gave it back to him.
Yeah,
I'll go.
Okay,
I'll hand
What
these
I
out.
do appreciate is the one-story feel of this, and it's probably helpful to have the other buildings that are approved when you are bringing something in, because we have something to compare with. We can't really remember.
They're shown in the site plan, but they didn't give you a side-by-side.
Right,
elevation.
but I do agree with some things that they said, the brackets on the porch, the door style perhaps changing, it kind of competes with the door to the side of it. The scale of the chimney is huge compared to the house, and it's a rather unusual spot to connect it to the house. I find that a little curious. I don't mind the low slung roof in the back, because I think that keeps the whole mass down. But what I think they're talking about with the dormers is that it really is just one huge long dormer, and perhaps it would be better to just break them into two and eliminate the shallower piece in the middle, and that to me would read more sconcy. They have smaller.
So we included 3Ds of the house in this little supplement because it helps
what,
show.
I want you to listen to the commissioners first and then come back with a discussion.
Well, that's it for me.
Alrighty. John,
Yeah, I'm surveying. just for-
alright,
taking-
Steve,
Yeah, I'm just digging in now.
alright, Abby, how about you, you ready?
The first thing that hits me is the massiveness of the chimney, and it seems out of proportion. You've done such a good job keeping it, like a story and a half. I'd like to see something a little more delicate towards the top. Maybe it has one of those, the owl chimney things. Maybe it tapers in and sort of corbels up there. I think I'm okay with this sort of storm door with the lights, but I think the side lights look a little skimpy. If you're going to have them, I think they should be actually bigger or not at all. I think the side door to the right is competing. I'm wondering why that couldn't just be another window. It's competing with the front door, the four-light French door.
It's set further in the distance.
It is, I was gonna ask you that, but I forgot. So that's set back. Well, I think that but that four-light door it has quite a presence. And on the dormer situation, I think it's true if you didn't have those middle windows, I think it would be a little more subtle and more sconcy. I'm not sure which way, is that dormer must be in the back of the house, is that correct?
Sides,
They're on the two sides, yeah.
Okay, so maybe you do have to address that.
and the indent's only a foot.
Right. Steve, are you ready?
Yeah, so I agree with my colleagues generally in the statement with respect to the chimney massing, although I think one of the mitigating factors that shows in the 3D is that it's not super far back from the road, but it's not insignificant, the distance from the road.
Correct.
I think the thing that's striking me as most atypical looking at it is both in two-dimensional drawing and the 3D, is that porch eave is about 8'9" above the deck. And I think that is just, it's just, in conjunction with the undersized, it makes the brackets appear undersized, but I think increasing the size of the brackets is only gonna add to the representation that the eave is so high, where normally a beam would be. So maybe if you were to look at the 2D drawing, you see there's a false fascia. It's almost over the door from left to right. And I think that the porch would benefit from having a beam at that height across the front, and then you could lower your brackets. And I think that would be more traditional. What size are the posts? Are they 8 by 8?
8 by 8.
Yeah, so I think the other thing that's making those brackets look kind of out of balance, when I say inappropriate, that's what I'm referring to, is that the posts are not necessarily oversized, but relative to what we would normally see, it'd be more like a six by six in this, over these spans. Perhaps if you were to increase your span by eliminating some of the posts, it would be more appropriate to have them larger like that. And I think that's it, for me anyways.
Thank you. John?
My other question is, on the window, there's only two of them, and the window is a E window, and it says fixed. Does that mean inoperable?
Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to get it, so I don't go through my own personal, the weather commission's admonitions about that window, that type of window. Being fixed doesn't mean it can't tilt in or out, so I think we should start using the word inoperable. That way it goes in and stays there. That's the only comment. Thank you.
All right, I'm next, and, I don't think that the front door with the side lights and the paneling, the way you have it, is appropriate. I would make the front door simpler and take the side lights out. I don't think the house calls the side lights. The windows on the first floor, although I like large windows, are 6 feet. And the space between the first floor of the house and the top is 7'6", and that is high. So I think the porch, I would suggest that it be looked at and worked out, and also on your east elevation, almost everything is mulled, and I think you've got too many windows like that. Up in that dormer, which is a large dormer, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 windows. And they need to be separated, number one. I think it makes that elevation clunky with so many windows that are all together. And you have it on the first floor, and then around the corner, you have 1, 2, 3, 5 of them all together. And then the 2 above again, and that is again a dormer. It would be better to take that center window out and only have 1, and the same thing on the other side. That's the, on the chimney, it's only in that first floor that there is the fireplace, right?
Correct.
But in
It's a
order to
single
get the draft, you need to go up that high.
That chimney could be a little bit lower, and given the comments from the Wisconsin Advisory Board, we can lower it a little bit and reduce the scale in general.
Right,
But it's in a one-story mass in the back of the house. So it's-
right. I don't know whether it would help you if you took the corbelling up just a little bit, which would not have the top of the chimney look so long.
Does it have to be that high?
No, he said he could bring it
Okay.
down,
Could be down a little
but
bit.
it would make a solider bottom to hold support the top. So that's my suggestion. Perhaps we could have a,
Motion to hold for revisions?
yes, please, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for these pictures.
Yep.
Yeah, very
It's
helpful.
really good, thank
They're
you.
very good. I'm going to put them with the thing, but we'll get them back again.
The reference images or the 3Ds?
Both, actually,
Both? Great.
for me anyways.
All right, thanks, everybody.
It looks really nice.
Alrighty. And, the next one is 38 Cliff Road.
Is this old or new?
He
It's
hasn't
old,
shown
it's
up.
all the old business.
I'm trying to get in touch with him, so I don't know what his situation is.
Okay.
So, yeah, you can hold that for representation.
Okay,
Motion
motion for 5, same
to
hold.
hold, yep,
All
hold,
those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
We're holding number 5 for representation.
Number 6 is held, and number 7 is 5 Cherry Street.
5 cherries here.
Roof change, fix, and repair.
Welcome. How's it going?
Morning.
Hey,
Cherry.
it says Josh.
My son, he's in Costa Rica right now.
That's too bad.
Oh, yeah, that one.
He's missing all this nice
Terrible place
weather.
to be
There you go.
at this time, boy.
This is too West.
Yeah, so this is a roof replacement?
Coming back.
This is ours. Okay,
No, it's on the, no, it is, yeah.
Josh?
I'm Jeff, his
Oh,
father.
yeah.
Hi.
So tell us what you want to do.
I'm just here to listen to you guys, but I believe he wants to change the roof and fix up some trim. Just change the shingles.
Roof changed, fix, and repair. Here I have something from Shab. It says it's contributing, prefer wood or 3-tab. Photos show roof in good condition. So I guess that would give us an explanation of why you're asking for a fix and repair.
Oh, you're changing it from wood to, you wanna change it to architectural moire black?
That is an acceptable color for
Yeah.
us in the old historic
I know, I'm
district.
just sad to see the wood shingles go, cause they look so good in this house.
Approvable by consent. Architectural moire black, which is one of the approved historic colors, or architectural type.
Well, I'm okay with it, except that, you know, hate to see the wood shingles go.
Well, it was asphalt in 1945.
20 years ago, never got
Oh, really?
So,
Oh, it's natural
you would
weather.
be on it?
I think Jesse's on it.
All right,
I have no concerns. It's still-
Me either.
all right. John?
No comments.
All right, then may I have a motion?
Motion to approve with the architectural shingles black.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
As
you.
submitted, yes.
You think that was supposed to say noir instead of
No, that
moire?
is the
Oh.
the type of M-O-I-R-E.
Cause that's a kind of fabric that has a watermark.
Well, it's just the fancy name for
Alright.
their,
For evening gowns, I don't think it's the same material.
Evening gowns on historic houses,
Yeah.
what is the HTC up to next?
All right, do we have Jose Hidalgo?
We have nobody.
Nope, no,
Motion to adjourn. Oh, I'm sorry.
that's what I'm here.
Okay, so we'll put that for representation too, please. That's that shed.
Oh, that guy that's not coming up? You may not trip through the rain.
He, all right, the
That
next
one's yours.
one. Can I have a motion to hold
Evergreen?
28A Evergreen
So
for
moved.
representation? Thank you. Everybody in favor?
Alright,
The next
Aye.
one is 58 North Liberty Street, window revision and shutter.
Anyone here for that?
Nope.
Okay,
Hold for representation.
hold,
Take them up next.
thank you.
Act treetop? Oh, actually, it was TJ, sorry. Oh.
So,
You could just have somebody else make it.
Yeah, that was Val's motion.
This one I think was heard last week.
Is that,
there's
is that
here.
your motion, Val, to hold for representation?
yes.
Is this for
Okay.
58 North Liberty?
No,
Nope.
for 28 Center.
So you
Okay,
still
wait a
just,
minute, going back to 58, who made the motion?
Val.
Val, I don't-
She just
Apparently
did a really
me.
deep voice.
Okay.
Which one are you?
So who was
28
the?
Center Street.
we made a
Oh, just
motion to
voting
hold
on
for
it. I'm just
revision.
gonna throw Jesse on it.
Jesse was on it. Steve is on this because TJ was on the one before that was hold for representation. Jesse was on this one for hold, and Steve is on
This
the
is
Act
old.
Tree.
This is Coombs, McLaughlin, Watterson, and Dutra for 28 Center Street.
Okay, so you would be on it.
Next time.
This now.
Well, no, cause this one they put.
This is it? It's old business.
Oh,
TJ.
we're stuck with that, that's
Yeah.
right. All right, Kid, will you tell us what,
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yep, you heard me. Thank you. Locus maps.
Well, this is the window.
And I also have this for you guys.
Thank you.
Gonna get some new true divided lights.
Coombs, McLaughlin, Watterson, and
do you
Dutra.
have two pictures or just one?
Just that's one set.
Yeah, it should be just one set of photos.
Were you able to get an opinion on the windows?
Yeah, they're gonna be passed around. I had a gentleman write out a formal explanation of his feeling of the windows being repaired
Okay.
rather than replaced.
Who needs a one? No, window.
Here we go, there's a,
So, Madam Chair, if you remember this one, this was just to try and, basically a like-kind change of windows, but
Right,
there was a comments about trying to rehab the windows instead of completely change them.
and what did we get for that?
The conclusion of that was feeling as if trying to repair the windows will possibly cause more damage than good on them and result in having to need to repair them indefinitely.
Did these guys have a look at the windows?
Yes, I had a look at the windows, and then I also sent them the photos that I provided for you guys.
This is already, somebody's already looked at it. I'm not on it, right?
Right. So, Brian says that it would be better to put in new ones, right?
Yes.
And have we, heard about what the new ones would be? It says, I recommend a kind replacement rather than attempted restoration in this instance. So, what kind of windows do you want to use then?
They would be like kind Boston sash. I have a copy of the window order. If that is helpful for you guys.
Vinyl
exact
clad
windows that we-
integrated grill.
They are then good 6/6
Yes, same glass pane style.
that is used in the old historic district, not fended through or whatever. Okay, so, TJ, what do you have to say?
I'm reading the report, it looks like it'd be impractical and cause more damage to try to repair them.
Right, that's what he said.
And the Boston, you're proposing Boston sash, true divided light?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. And what about the glass? Is the glass like wavy glass at all? Or?
No, it should be
No.
a similar style.
I mean the
Single
existing.
strain glass.
Is it like old glass that's in the windows now, like the wavy?
If I'm not mistaken, those don't have the wavy look to those.
Yeah, okay. I'm fine with it.
Okay, and Jeff?
I wish I had more knowledge on it to say whether I was fine or not fine with it. You know, the first comment from the person who's saying this is, he's saying they're not unique. I mean, 1920 window, I consider unique.
He is,
And so my comment is no comment because I don't really have
right,
enough knowledge to say whether these are, I mean, I'm,
he's a good, this,
do we normally replace 1920 windows if,
it all depends. He was talking about, if you read along, that there's been a lot of water going down.
yeah, but he also is talking about, weather stripping materials, sash hardware, so he's not talking about the window itself, he's talking about the components that
That'll go around it.
So it sounds like that's something that would happen whether you put any window in.
I don't know. I know that he came recommended
But
by
I-
Ray.
He came what?
He is the man that Ray uses when he
Okay,
has to
this
do
is
with-
the guy?
Yes.
Alright, fine, then I'm good.
I do know too, I found out today from the original owner that one of the windows was replaced on the second story about 15 years ago. I couldn't find any info in the file on that when I originally, before I filed for this, but I do know one of the windows was previously replaced.
So, I mean, I thought this was just somebody
No,
that the client
this is
hired
the
based-
person
this
that
is-
Ray gave her
this
the
is
name
the
of.
people that Ray.
I know this was who Ray recommended, and I know him, and I contacted
Okay,
him personally.
alright, then I
so-
apologize, I wasn't
No, no,
aware
no,
of
you're
that.
fine.
So, if this is the guy that Ray recommended, I have.
Very good. And Johnny?
That was a recommendation, please?
That's for Sconset, that's an old application.
That's
That's
not,
something else.
Oh, I thought it was, you just go to the,
Yeah, that was from the
Advisory
last
committee,
time
yeah.
it went to.
Page
no, we don't,
These go together?
So that was read at the last meeting, the green sheet, which is Historic Structures Advisory Board. If you'd like to review it
There-
again, then you can.
these
The
are
blue sheet is
original
for-
sash and can
application
be
already
repaired
discussed
and
tonight.
made weathertight for probably less money than replacing with less quality Boston sash. That has been answered in the letter from Brian Harris, whose business is restoring windows, who certainly would do the job if he thought it was appropriate and good for the building. He is a well-known person to do that. So, that is what they're saying to do the original, and it's been studied, and Brian Harris, Johnny went to see it, and he feels that the best treatment is to put in the windows that they have proposed.
I do want to clarify, I mean, Brian Harris is my employer. The gentleman that reviewed them was the gentleman on the top right, Robert.
DeRocha.
Yeah, I don't want to botch his last
Thank
name.
All right, so may I have a motion?
no, I'd like to speak on it.
Oh, all right,
As far as I'm concerned, we have a job to do here, and it's to preserve. That's the one word. And all these windows here, and they're right smack dab in the middle of town, old HDC. And we're gonna make a change because somebody wants something different. There's only 6 of them. Do 6 at a time and replace them in wood. That's what should typically be, in my opinion. And I don't think we should separate the two types, one from the other. So I'm just saying that we're here to preserve this, not to let it make changes because somebody wants something a little bit better. Well, the curse of Nantucket windows are the the curse of the Nantucket windows are from the aluminum storm windows. They had wooden ones for years, that's all they did. Contractors took them down in the summer, put them back in the winter. Now you're losing, we're giving up all of Nantucket and all our guidebook there. It's all gone. This commission as a whole has, over the last 20 years, changed everything, given a little bit here, a little bit there, making changes. You're not strong enough, that's my opinion, but I think that we should stick by this, put them in wood.
wood,
You know,
why,
I can't agree with this guy here, whoever it is. First, the
they're not
windows do
wood?
not exhibit
Are they
any
not
remarkable.
wood?
No,
They're wood.
they're wood.
They're proposing, just so you are aware, they're actually proposing like kind.
Yeah.
So true divided like wood.
wood,
Yes, that'd be wood.
they never said they weren't gonna put wood up.
I see where in the
No,
letter it's a
no,
little
we talked
confusing.
about it at the last meeting, but I'm just saying, this guy here says that they do not exhibit any remarkable characteristics of design or concentration that would render them unique. And unique if we allow them, so they're gonna do them in wood.
Yes, they would be in there.
No snap-in, just straight wood windows.
Yeah, just wood windows.
Thank you.
Final plan.
Okay. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve as submitted.
Thank you. All those in favor of that motion?
All right.
We'll take that.
Aye.
Jesse?
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Are you going to, oh, you couldn't do it.
John's
I'm not on it.
Right. All right,
Diane,
thank you.
Diane is opposed on that,
I haven't,
yes. For other reason, but, anyway.
Okay, here you go, guys. Now, the next one is, 9 Grove Lane. Luke. Is he here?
Around silently behind you.
There he is. We missed you last time. Last Tuesday, you were not here.
Thank you.
I'm holding number 14 till next week.
Usually have one.
All right.
All right,
Finally,
Oh, here's
I'll
bits and
read this,
pieces.
okay?
Oh, yeah.
2 windows are not appropriate where shown on the north elevation. Prefer a smaller single unit pushed higher into the gable. The only other comment on it is on the other, it says it's visible,
Yeah, it is visible.
so
Okay.
those are the 2 windows you talked about.
This may not fly. Where is it? It's, Powerhouse Lane. It's right there on the corner. It's existing.
This is the
Well, we knocked
regular
down the
board,
house.
because we did,
Correct, yep.
Is this regular board?
yes.
No, I'm on it.
here?
You want to begin?
Yeah.
Me? No, God, I just realized I was on it.
Oh,
How about you?
I'm not on it, right?
No, this is
This is
Oh.
open.
Okay.
This is the regular
So it's
board.
just these 2
I did
windows?
just walk by this though.
Yes, as far as I
Looks
can
great.
see, that's 2 windows not appropriate where shown.
Isn't this already existing?
One in the middle.
It's all, well, it's under
These.
construction now.
Right.
Yeah, it looks, I just walked by
Smaller,
it yesterday.
single unit pushed higher into the gable.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The reason, I understand what you're saying, and I conveyed that to the owner. The rooms are very dark for her, and the reason they like this, I know it's unconventional, is there's a party wall right smack down on the gable. So we can't center a window there, it wouldn't serve
Do you
anything.
need a window there?
Well, the owner is desperate to have more light. She's, she asked me to come and appeal to you guys because it's in the back of the house and maybe it'd be approvable. We recognize that it's not
They
totally
say it's
typical.
visible, and
It is visible.
and it really isn't,
Yeah.
it's really weird looking, sort of.
Yeah,
Would you consider, this is just a thought, making it a 4 light on each side and moving them up as high as they could go?
yeah, we could make it.
And, you know, so they line up with the middle of the window, not the outside of the window, so it looks more like something that would be in a gable?
No, I don't.
It would really look like a 4 light put together.
Well,
2
I'm
sides.
not saying together, but it would be up here,
Yeah.
Centered on it, right?
like,
Like that. And
yeah.
I
You
don't.
know what I
Or you
mean?
could even push it closer.
They can move a little closer up to where the wall is, yes.
Historic knowledge.
I don't,
What about
Well,
transients?
the window's already established.
There's a wall
Yeah,
smack
but
in
are
the
those-
middle.
No,
are those
over the
Cs
two.
already?
They're already established, so we can't move the windows. We just wanna add the one above.
No, what I was trying to explain, and maybe I should show you what I'm trying to say is,
Or see what he's got as a picture.
on your plan, here you, something. You know, I know you got that wall there, could you do 2 smaller ones that line up here? Same grill pattern size,
They would
but,
be,
no,
maybe smaller than that.
Wow.
it just looks more like something in a gable.
I don't think you know
Okay,
that. I don't think you know that maybe.
the owner did ask for an alternative, so.
Luke, where
What's
is
that?
it? Where,
No thanks.
So these windows that we're proposing, this is the street, it wraps around, and
Yeah.
they're right there.
okay. Yeah, all right, well,
Skylights.
I can say something now.
Yes, if you're ready.
Yeah, I think because it's in the back of the house, I don't actually have a problem with this, what is proposed here. I know we're going
Okay.
downhill in a handbasket.
This is your,
Going to pot.
No, I just showed Luke what I was talking about.
and what do you think?
it's a
Well,
possibility.
the owner would prefer, what we're presenting, but she would also, be desperate to have something, so if that isn't the majority, then she would go with a smaller window.
I think this is more subtle.
Well, the other suggestion I have is could they look like they're one window? Could you just
Yeah.
sit them on top of this and then it just looks like there's an oversized two windows?
Oh, yeah, we can do
Yeah,
that.
like it was a 9/6 or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, read as one window, not two little
Yeah,
separated.
I like that. No, there's 3 inches space, you called it out here, you get rid of that
Yeah.
3-inch
Sure,
space
love
and you
that.
just sit them right on top of each other.
What do you think
So
of that
basically, you'd
idea?
have one casing around both of them.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it just looks like a bigger window.
yeah. Johnny, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I drove up in the area and I looked around, I couldn't find another configuration of a 6/6 or 6/6.
6/6/6.
I actually
You
think
couldn't?
it's completely different, and they try to eliminate it, put one up in the center, up higher in the roof.
But there's a party wall there.
I'm
They're
sorry?
having a party up there. There's a party wall in
They
between
got a
the
wall
two.
down the center, they say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not my problem, I hate to say that.
I know it's not. I
No,
don't care
it's,
either.
It's an odd shape characteristically there. So, yeah, just eliminate them. If you want a vent up there, put a vent up there. But I don't think it's appropriate in the neighborhood. So, that's it. Thank you.
Well, I think it's in the back of the house. I like Val's idea of getting rid of the 3 inches and making one trim around it, and that's my motion. Okay, all
What are
those,
you gonna put, 1/6 light up there?
6/6/6?
Can't get a 6/6 up there, won't fit.
No, it's like it is as it is drawn here, minus the 3 inches in between the windows.
So one big window.
Just like that. So basically, this is it's gonna come down, or there'll be a fatter sill so that they
Then
reach as one.
Then it's gonna look like a transom,
Mm-mm.
yeah?
It's too big for a transom.
Anyway, that's my motion, Madam Chair. All right, all those in favor of Abby's motion, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Say no.
I'm opposed.
All right, so the next one is,
Thank you.
56,
Through staff.
I think so.
Thank you.
Magic Sham
Yeah,
Valley.
it's 3-2.
I don't see anybody else here. Tobias is here for 106.
I'm just here to hold till our chair, our illustrious chair gets back.
Was he coming?
Well, he's not here tonight.
No.
He's in Wyoming.
I told John I'd swing by.
Oh,
So 12, I think we're gonna hold, and 13, I think we're gonna hold,
And 14 we're gonna hold.
and 14, so.
And
who's making
15 and
that-
16.
who's
No,
making that
15 and
motion?
16.
I did
What?
wanna ask if everybody had seen the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
I saw it.
It still looks kind of funky.
Okay,
Yeah.
so is there a vote on
Oh,
number
we don't
12?
want to talk about it.
That's right.
just wanna ask if you,
Yep,
12,
was
13, 14.
is there a vote for number 12, 56 Aromatic Sham Valley? Is there-
Motion to hold.
Do you need that motion to hold for hold for representation? All
Yes.
those in favor?
Aye.
Hold what one?
Number 12. 56R, Magic
okay.
Sham
Thank
Valley.
you.
And then 13, what,
So
yeah, if
moved.
he wants to hold it,
Madam Past President,
yes.
I might not make it next week. I'd like to pass my camera around and take a look at 106 Orange Street. But we were told by, I guess, the owner, you won't see the panels up there.
You'll see the panels clear as day.
We're not supposed to talk about it.
Oh,
You might come back in August and get it, but I don't know.
Well, that panel is not where it's going either.
Correct.
we're trying to be very clear about that.
I'm just saying it shows what you can see.
whole roof.
You press the top button.
So that's being held for next Tuesday?
Okay, hold for Tuesday. All those in favor?
Aye. I'd like to hold number 14
They're
till
gonna
next
hold-
Tuesday.
13 and 14.
Who made that motion for 13?
I think that was
Jesse,
somebody
who
over
made
there.
that motion?
I'll make it.
Okay,
You weren't on
Oh, I wasn't on it.
I'm
Motion
on
to
it.
hold number 13.
okay, thank you. Jesse made the motion, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Okay, and you were asking.
That's number
this
14,
And
right?
14,
14, I wanna hold.
okay, all those in favor? Aye.
And then, the last two are me now, with, okay.
Come on, entertain us, Val.
Yeah, come on, we need some excitement here.
Yeah, it's a nice picture.
I am not exciting.
Look at that,
Yes, you
2
are.
guys working hard,
2 dogs.
2 dogs working hard.
Okay,
We need 19 lilies.
I'm ready for that.
Two people sitting on this, what two are sitting on?
Who do we have?
About,
Oh, I looked at this.
I was
Oh,
on
it
the
was
last one,
already
so
looked at?
Steve and Jesse.
No, I looked at it going down the street.
oh,
Is
cause
there
I
s-
wasn't here last week.
There's no sitting commissioners on it, it's open.
is there
that-
anyone sitting on the next one?
You and
No, no one's sitting.
No,
next
they're
to
new
these
too.
last two have not been heard.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
They're all open.
What about, is that you? TJ, are you up on this
I
one?
think it's Steve and Jesse.
Okay,
I don't know.
Steve, if we're gonna go that way, you do the other way.
So a little background on this. This summer, we had applied for and gotten approval for a cottage in the back little segment of this L-shaped lot. They are not going to build that cottage. It turned out to be quite a feat with the slope of the hill and everything. So instead, we're adding this addition to the existing structure.
Okay, I just got this,
Sure.
let me just read it for you. It says mass should be shifted towards the existing structure and also shifted to the rear. Appreciate one-story massing. Building becomes too long relative to street. Rear not visible. That's what they say. So, you go on.
It is back from the street though.
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly shift the mass itself back. I don't know how to connect it to the existing house without having a little hallway, because then you're gonna block windows on the rooms that are already there.
Yeah, and I think the two massings close together,
Would be-
it's just going to not read. This way, it sort of marries the two together, the nice.
Val, is there any way you can lower the eave on that far side so it kind of continues to step down? I mean, even if we're 6 inches or something? So left to right from the front, you see the massing steps down as it goes.
Yeah, I could probably do that, like if it lowered down below the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah,
At least
Yeah,
in the
change.
connector.
Yeah, I'd like to connect, I think if you could, I don't know, connector, I don't know if you can do it with the
no, I
connector.
get what you're saying, like if you look at the building, the middle section is lower
Yeah,
than the two pieces on either side of it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't lower it that far, but I could certainly lower it maybe 6 inches, so that eave line maybe sits right on top of the window, and from there over, it's down like another 6 inches or something.
right, so the connector and the gable both come down a
Correct,
little bit
yeah.
and relative, so it looks like big house in the front,
Yeah.
middle house, tiny addition.
Yep,
You might
I
want
could
to
do
comment.
that.
John, what's John got to say?
Yeah, did you say it couldn't be seen, the rear elevation?
No, they said that. The
HSAB.
HSAB.
HSAB said that.
It couldn't be seen?
They said relative to street, rear not visible. So the back side of that house is not visible from the street.
Unless you're standing at
Yeah.
Academy
Straight
Hill.
right.
That's what HSAB said.
Unless you're rolling down the hill.
Yeah, what do you know, right behind
Cat-
you is the town property, school,
Yeah,
Academy Hill. You look over the hill, you can see the whole back of the house, I was up there.
well,
So I guess I would
We're
just say,
victims of
I
all of
didn't
that.
say that,
Yeah,
but
you're
is
used
there
to it.
anything about the rear
archi-
elevation that would cause you angst?
No.
No, what's wrong with the rear elevation, whether
nobody's got a problem with
you
it.
could see it or not?
I don't have a problem with it the way it's drawn as submitted, so.
Right.
I
What
agree.
about you, John,
I agree with Steve. I think that should be lowered somehow, because when you look at it on the drawing, the left side is connected a little lower than the right side. Right, where I see it, right here, this one here. How can this be higher and this one is lower? You know, that's what I'm missing on it.
I can do that.
As long as it works with your program, I think it, you'd benefit.
Definitely.
You can drop it some more, you know, I think, you know.
what's, you have that, what elevation are you looking at? This one?
So,
And this is the thing?
no, on the other,
Yeah.
but you're also lowering this. This is higher, so.
All right, so you want it to
so it
go
will
down,
look like
so
it
this will go
steps
down.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Like
those
across the
6
top
over
of the
6
window
Yeah, and the
there.
whole thing will look
Same
like it
as
steps
the-
down.
They're
From
supposed to
left
be,
right.
it's just
Right.
because I did this on a computer. They
Oh,
are
they-
the same
okay,
exact size they're
alright.
gonna be, so.
Just, did we get you on this?
I'm not on this.
Okay. So,
I'm fine with it.
okay,
I like Steve's lowering the eaves though.
all right. Now, do you want to do a motion
Make a thing.
through staff, or do you want to bring it back?
I don't think we need to see it again.
No, I don't
as
wanna
long
see
as
it
we're
again.
clear, and I think we're pretty clear that the motion would be to approve as submitted with the exception that the roof eaves and ridges would be lowered approximately, can you do 6 or approximately 6 inches through staff,
Roof eaves,
Which elevation?
as viewed from the north.
Yeah, I guess it's not.
The front,
drop 6 inches?
approximately.
Okay.
You know, so it's not lined up, I get it.
Okay,
That addresses H-Stab's.
all right, now, we will sign that. There's this
Is there a
back.
vote on that?
May I have a vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Everybody is in favor? So the next one is 14 Cherry Street.
This is an application for some window changes.
Hang in there.
Okay, I have a
Sorry.
thing from Chad that says 14 Cherry. Need age of building. Wood TDL windows are appropriate. Chimney needs to remain its structure at 1930 or earlier.
Okay, so back to this building. Last year, we got an approval to demo it completely. I came in and with an addition recently because we decided not to demo it. It was approved with, the front facade windows staying true divided light, but the new windows could be SDL as they weren't on the street. So the modification we're asking for is the chimney removal and, swapping out some windows on the north.
Okay, let me just take a quick look at this. Is this a,
And I did put some history, oh no, that's not this one, never mind.
is this
The
the
other
full staff?
The north is not the front door, right?
The,
The front is with the front door, the west.
Yeah.
Yeah.
North is with the windows that won't be true divided, that will be SDL, whatever.
Yeah, they were approved, if you look at the front page, as randomly spaced and one was small and one was large. Now I'm moving them closer to the door and they're both the same size.
that's on the front, right?
No, nothing's changing on the front except for the chimney.
Okay,
The only side that has window changes is the left north.
okay, oh, that's what I was looking at anyway. And what were they complaining, what age? You're not getting rid of the chimney, you're just moving it, right?
No, I'm getting rid of it. I wanted to say, let's keep in mind, and I can certainly bring
Then we cannot keep that
So,
chimney.
yeah,
front
about a
walls
year
there.
ago, it was approved to be moved or demoed, and, Then the applicant and agent came in and decided to scrap the demolition idea and just go with an addition, have the addition approved. Well, now as we're here now, the building has been demolished. So there needs to be some further
How come
cleaning
the
up of.
building was demolished?
Because they got the approval.
Well,
Yeah.
No, no, no,
We
no,
got
no,
demo-
no.
demoed.
Let me just say this. I was hired to do these window changes. Since I put this in, the building has basically come down except for the front wall. I am no longer representing it after these window changes. Linda is. So I'm only here for this. If you wanna hold it until they come in with everything, you can certainly do that.
So we're not
So
solid.
what's holding the front wall up?
They just have it
Like 2 by
raised on the
4s.
deck, yeah.
Oh my God. This
I'm not
happens.
sitting on this one.
They did that at our fish market.
No, it was approved.
So-
No, it was approved. I mean, so.
It was
When they
approved.
keep the first floor
Whatever we
deck,
decide
though,
doesn't really matter.
She doesn't
Well, I'd like
know
to see
that.
what she
Well, I guess it
has,
could matter
if
because
it's no
if we-
longer
if we
there.
make
In paperwork, it matters, and,
Yeah.
you know.
How can
this
we
is-
put a, how can we put a wing on it when
So-
it isn't there?
Madam
You
Chairperson,
must,
Yes,
Can we hold it?
I have a comment to make.
Yeah.
At the last meeting discussion on this structure, I made a comment, my own personal comment, not knowing that the contractor on the job is my grandson. So I have to abstain on this, but we didn't vote anything, so that's just as well. But I made a statement, and I should have declared myself. I didn't realize this is the house he was working on, so.
Jason?
No, cause at the
Jason,
time,
yeah,
John,
he's
I
working
don't
on
think
it.
he had the job, so you were okay.
Huh?
At the time that application came in, he hadn't been given the job yet, so you were okay.
Oh, okay.
Now he's responsible
10
for the
lashings.
job.
So
10
you're,
lashings.
so John, are you
all?
recusing yourself?
Yes.
He did to get me going.
So, I would motion to hold it to track the other activity on the house. Or
Okay.
at this point, there's no application, so I would just say, hold for more information.
Okay.
I'm on with that.
Yeah. Or put the building
Is that
back.
okay with you?
Yes, I'm done with it. I just have to see it through this.
All right, no
Good
need to
job.
keep the chimney.
So we will hold for a vision on that.
I was like, oh,
So is there a vote on that?
We're all in
Motion to
favor.
hold.
Yes, we have a motion to hold.
Madam
Everybody
Chairperson,
in favor?
and John recused, yes.
I had another statement.
Oh, no.
As of today, I went down, took all my papers to run again in April.
Whoa, righty then.
I
Go,
know,
John!
I know I've been a pain in the butt at
Yes.
times. I'm my own man.
No, before that.
That he was a pain in the butt.
Oh, that was it.
So you gotta get a 65 signatures. You gotta go, I don't think I can get them.
Count me in, John, I'll sign
We'll
it.
sign it.
Mm-hmm.
Give me it, I'll sign it.
Okay.
So
What
anyway.
would we
let
do
you know,
without you?
It keeps me going. I need it.
You've
Yeah.
got a lot of historical information, it's very important to this board.
Now, somebody's gotta keep me alive
Until then?
till election day.
Okay.
That's my daughter's job. Anybody else's job, you better shoot me before the election. Yeah.
Shall we approve some minutes? Or,
We got, is he over here trying to get away?
I
We
have
have
an
got-
announcement to
Why
make.
not?
oh, no.
Let's just approve these
Okay.
minutes first, then you make it up. All right, we got December 18th. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion to approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, nobody against.
I'll abstain, didn't review them.
Okay. And we'll review 13 and 20. And the other business we may want to just say is one of our two people who have been following this project could just say what that they are, and then have a quick discussion of the DPW public information session and proposed Upper Street Road and sidewalk work. That meeting is going to be at 6 o'clock
On Thursday.
on Thursday.
Yes,
Where is that?
in this room.
Is it HDC?
No,
It's put on by the DPW,
Oh, public meeting.
yeah,
but HDC meeting has
When
been
is Ray?
6 o'clock.
Okay.
16?
An
Thank you.
HDC meeting's been published in case we have enough commissioners for a quorum and there's discussion, you know.
I think
Altogether,
it would be, if anybody is free,
That's this week or next week, I'm sorry?
This Thursday.
this Thursday,
Thank you.
day after tomorrow.
Downstairs?
Right
In
here.
this room.
I would just like to say, it would be important just for as many of us who can get here, to get here, because there's a lot of stuff which, McNeil is just ignoring concerning, as I said to Ginger, she was leaving, the watering of the elm trees, the cutting of the roots, because he wants everything level. So he wants the sidewalks level, he wants the road level, but the elms are very well known to rise and move. And we are the largest concentration of standing elm trees in the country. And that having our streets absolutely flat and the sidewalks absolutely flat, I don't think is as important as however many count the elm trees going up Main Street. It's also the first thing that you see wherever you see anything about Nantucket is, as Ginger said, they mention the cobblestones. The cobblestones down at the crossing, at the fountain, were done after the electric company moved some very, very heavy material over them. And they sort of depressed the road like that, and it was quite bad. The machines that they brought were super, super heavy and had to be treated as such anyway. But they got these Portuguese gentlemen and they rebuilt the road the way that Ginger described it in her letter, and they have held. But also, the important thing is the water problem. If you pave underneath the cobbles and put sand and then put them in, the water still is going to hit the impervious stuff underneath, and it's going to run down Main Street because it's not going to have anywhere else to go. There are very few drains on the upper part of Main Street. One of the big drains is just about a vis-a-vis on Main Street. And the other drain is down in front of the brick building right there.
Yeah, the Pacific.
Yes, the Pacific Club.
Yeah.
But it's not a big drain. It is a small drain. This would be a really bad place to have a puddle every time we had a big rain, which you know we do and have. And know that there was a whole separate working system, so they tore up the street. We can't do it. We put those people down there just about out of business by closing North Water Street and the rest of it. I think it's now time that we look at what we've got and look at the consequences of what we do instead of just making it pretty and saying, you know, now the street's pretty. It won't be so pretty when there aren't any elm trees on it.
I think that's true. I'm trying to think of a creative way to brick the sidewalks around those trees. So
you can make a bigger square. Most of them have got squares going around them.
Yeah, but
that you could do.
Right, but they have the frost heaves in the sidewalks,
Yeah.
and you've got a member in the audience that wants to remark on.
Oh, well, come and say.
I would be curious what other municipalities that have historic districts have done. We're not the only ones with trees. I mean, it would be interesting to know how they addressed it. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking
We can find out, but there aren't very many that have elm
No.
So
trees.
they're not talking about chopping roots, are they?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, they are, that's not good.
And people, if you're gonna walk on the street up there,
To Dutch elm and it will kill the trees.
they should be able to go over a few bumps or paint them yellow.
Why do they have to
Well,
go
I mean,
over the
it's-
roots
we've-
at all?
We've been fine so far.
Right.
Well, on a positive note, we were at a conference all day today on coastal resiliency and keeping town proper maintained while coming up with solutions for water runoff was a huge topic in every single group. And we all came to the conclusion at the end of this that more municipality entities need to coordinate efforts together. So that was resounding, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, yes, and we also came up, just incidentally, while it's topical, we came up with, as a group, one of the things that was voted as a priority of the multitudes of ideas was to how, and I think this fits into it, is how to come up with solutions so that the historic heritage is preserved with respect to the street and the streetscape, while acknowledging what type of mitigation is required for storm events and down on Brant Point, coastal storms and sea level rise. So this is obviously a different topic, but I do think it falls into the general topic
Yeah.
of the streetscape and how it relates to improvements and hardening our roadways and our sidewalks to making them passable and safe. I mean, it's kind of under the same umbrella.
But there have been very few accidents on Main Street, Upper Main Street, of cars as far as the road being safe. And I think that when you're walking along a sidewalk, that it behooves you to look what's there than just trot along. I understand older people down on the busy Main Street, that is more of a problem than up on Upper Main Street, which has really very little pedestrian traffic on it because it isn't for tourists or whatever. But it's something we have to think about. And we can't I don't believe that we are in the thing of destroying the island, and we have a choice at times of whether we have to be more aware or just let it go. And the HDC is indeed in charge of what happens on the streets as far as the charge from the government, from Massachusetts government says so. Letter that is fighting this from a lawyer in Boston gives all the sections and the things of what they've done before and what they ever. So if you have a chance, look at that and come down, but don't, well, one would hope that you kept in mind the fact that we're trying to maintain an island that is not replaceable. And once it's gone, it's gone. You can't put it back.
Once the elm trees are gone, they're gone. You can't rebuild them.
So anyway, that's my rant of the evening.
Motion to adjourn.
Tobias, if you're gonna talk, come on up here so we get you on the video.
I just, I wanted to stay for this because I spoke last time about it. 'Cause I think the roads are really important. And I think if you guys want to change it, there's no way that you're gonna supersede the DPW with the need for protecting people from not tripping. If you wanna protect the trees, do that. The simplest way to do it is to weld up some sort of arch. That's maybe like, anywhere between 10 and 8 feet. Nice little arch, you go on the sidewalk, it's metal, so it flows over, you lay the bricks in it, it's a little grate, you can weld it up with aluminum, talk to Mr. Urbanian about it, lay something up, the tree can heave and move, that section is safe to flow, you got a nice little brick little arch. Looks brick, looks historic, keeps the tree safe, the road is a separate issue, but as far as the bricks go, those are my thoughts.
Thank you, that's helpful. I mean, I think there's, my own personal feeling on it is there has to be, I think Tobias is correct. When it comes to the safety, we're not gonna have complete control over it. I mean, at this point, the debate is whether we have any control, so.
That sucks.
But why is the debate?
Diana, I'm not taking a side on it, I'm simply stating what I
I'm
understand.
just asking why one would think that that there is no debate on it.
Well, I'm not saying, I'm saying that, what I said is that there's a question of whether we have any control. And I think the recent and past history indicates we don't. I mean, it's just the fact that changes are made, and that's how it happens. So all I'm suggesting is that if there's some way, you know, if that issue is gonna be addressed as the HDC addressing it, I think that's a worthwhile thing. Let's find out what our degree of input is, whether it's advisory, whether it's regulatory. But with respect to the streetscape, the sidewalks, and the safety, it seems to me that if we're talking about putting in the grading for the brick base, and it's at intervals wherever there's a street tree, that if it can be done in a way that's historically sensitive, it seems to me like a really sensible solution. That's all I'm
I
suggesting.
think that's good. I never said it wasn't. I just said.
Diane, may I
What?
finish? I'm not,
I thought you
I'm
said
not
you were
speaking
finished.
against you when I make these comments. I'm simply stating my thoughts on it.
Right.
I'm not saying you said don't do anything.
So how many people are gonna be at this meeting of the DPW? Like,
I don't think anybody
like-
knows.
Like 30 people? Is it gonna be HDC?
Ray's not going to be there because he's off island.
Is it going to be how many people in the DPW?
I don't know that the guys are going. So however many people come, I don't know whether David Gray would come if it regards the runoff of the sewer water and stuff like that. That nobody has said. I don't know that anybody knows.
Do they run a meeting like we run one here? Is that what
It's
it
a
would
public
going to be
meeting,
like?
no.
Or is it-
It's an information session.
Yeah, this is,
So it's
I think,
not,
to be
not
clear.
run by a public body. It's run
Right.
by the DPW, so it's.
And how much input can we put in? Like,
It's not a public hearing, it's a public meeting, so there's a very different, public meeting is to announce and provide information.
Opinion meeting.
It's a
so we
hearing.
can raise our hand and say,
Yeah,
stop.
it's
Yeah,
to
did
get
you go
feedback,
to
see
the-
what the community's thinking about.
When they were gonna cut down all the trees in the town parking lot, we had a meeting downstairs. And, they listened to what everybody that was sitting there had to say. Then they made a decision not to cut them down.
Are they actually talking about cutting the roots of the tree? I just find that so
Yes.
hard to believe. Like
Yes,
a tree
they
is
are.
gonna, it's just basic bioscience. The tree is gonna die if its root system is compromised in a way that would do that. So I'm gonna try and come because I really wanna get
What if
Yeah.
you,
the information straight from the horse's
Oh, yeah,
mouth.
do you know that answer, Jesse?
I mean, no, I mean,
It can be done, but it takes some time. I don't know if you remember OK 8 Atlantic Avenue with the, with the elm tree that's 4 feet away from the front door. And he had to put a new foundation in that old building. And we gave him permission. Dale came and told him how to do it and whatever. And I was in full question whether the guy would do it, because he didn't always do what he said. He did it all. He underwent the roots. He moved them. He did whatever, but without damaging them, and it worked. And the tree is beautiful.
Oh, that's a happy story.
Yeah. So you know it can be done, but the amount of work is considerable when you have to work with roots and not cut them. He didn't cut any major roots, and Dale was with him, stopped by practically every day. And it was a very successful job. So it can be done.
But a lot of people talk to me about Nantucket. And the thing that when they took the curbing, the old curbing out off of Lower Main Street, where is it? Nobody knows where it is.
Let's ask them.
Yeah. this is
Thursday
our
night.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Curb, oh,
You stand up and ask them, John.
yeah, I'm gonna have to ask, well, I'm asking them right now, cause they're watching this. Yeah.
Well, you're preparing them.
Don't let them know what you're gonna ask.
Madam Chair, can I ask one more question?
Sure.
As I was looking, we were supposed to see 16 and 18 orange, and as I was up there yesterday, or the day before, I noticed that 44 and 42 Orange Street are historic buildings. They're beautiful buildings that have their entrance on the side, and they're falling apart. But they're on Orange Street. I was so surprised. I walked right up, and
We
took a
should
look at
have
them. So I,
John go and make an inspection
yeah,
and see what he thinks, and then if we have to send them a letter.
they're major historic, like the biggest, most beautiful houses on Orange Street, and they're falling apart.
There's also, if I may, a shed going out there, something in addition on a structure as you approach, past the windmill on Prospect Street to, Milk. That was it, Milk? What's the first intersection? Yeah, it's Mill.
South Mill, or,
You go past the windmill on Prospect, and the first intersection is Milk, and then if you go left, you'll go out to Hummock Ponds.
Right.
So I think it's like the second house in, I just don't recall, and it may very well be approved, but there's a structure going in, it's small, it's one story.
Yes, it's right on the
But it's
street, up to
literally
the
coming
fence.
right up to the street, up to
Yeah.
the fence, and it just seemed somehow atypical and foreign,
Well,
you're
it would
mentioning
have
these
had to
things.
go to ZBA, cause it's butted up right to the fence,
John,
and the fence is
when you
on the
drive by,
sidewalk.
you'll know exactly what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. I'm not sure of the street address, I apologize. I wasn't gonna mention it until you mentioned it.
It's on
so
Milk, you
Milk,
It's on Prospect
No,
as
I
you
think-
approach Milk on the right.
I'll tell you.
There's that, remember the guy who wanted to change his garage into a
And it very well could be
living
approved.
space? And you have those two catawba trees, that's right there at that junction.
But if you're out and about, I just thought I'd mention it.
You're right, I saw that too.
So Thursday at
Six. Now, do we have to call a meeting to order if there's more?
Yeah,
than two of us?
John, I think John sent out a notice.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
but
do
I mean,
need,
when we're there, do we have to say,
yes, you need to
Okay.
call
I
it
would
order,
get
call
up
it to order,
And say that,
public comment, and then the discussion.
HTC's there.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, John. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
thank you, Diane.
Thank you, Diane.
Motion to adjourn.
John made it, he just needs a vote.
aye?
I don't.
Aye.
I know we have that son, daughter type of relationship.
Right, I can argue against.
Yes.
I mean,
You're getting stickers made that says, don't mess with the trees.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
that's telling.
you could